let us all do we can to build a better future. Again, shout out to our moderators. Shout out to Ayana, Mona Carmona, Gamer for Life, E. Heller, Fred Edward, Ali Alexandria. You guys are doing a fantastic job moderating our show, and we do appreciate all of our viewers and subscribers. Please check out all of our content. Daniel with our final story, and shout out to Case Study QB.
By the way, just a note with Kit, I'll pay someone $1 if you watch all of our content, and record yourself.
There might be somebody...
$1 whole. I'll sign it.
Dan, no.
$1 per video. Wait, no.
No, that's a bad idea. Backtrack away.
1 penny per video. I could afford that.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
All right, whatever. All right, so with that being said, a drink, we are moving on to our final story. Daniel, you got a story for the people. Yeah. What is going on?
Okay, so our good friend Case Study QB has found another clip of Fox News being morons. And I thought this was one of the funniest things. It goes back to that previous story that I did with MSNBC, or NBC, I should say, about them having all of a sudden no issues with keeping people, grounding people from other countries into America. And so here's a flip on that with Fox News. Take a look at this video.
You heard in Eric Holder's soundbite that word power. We need to use the power. You've heard that phrase echoed by the left a lot. How worried are you that going forward, liberal justices would be added to the 9 we currently have on there, despite constant overtures from more moderate Democrats like Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema, that they won't go along with that?
Well, look, there's a legitimate use of power, and then there's an illegitimate use of power. The legitimate use of power is filling vacancies with justices that support your judicial philosophy. So if there's a vacancy on the Supreme Court at any time during the president's tenure, he has a right to fill that seat. Likewise, he has a right to fill the seats of the lower appellate and federal district courts with judges that share his judicial philosophy. But what he doesn't have the power to do is to expand the court for the sole purpose of getting his way. You cannot expand the court for the purpose of forcing the court to rule a certain way. And frankly, when you say you're interested in doing that, what you're doing is you're threatening the current judges and justices of the court. You're saying, rule as we want you to, or we will appoint judges who will.
Okay, real quick, poll camera to be. First, I want to ask a poll of the audience because the audience is already asking this poll anyway. Did she sound drunk? Type 1 if yes, type 2 if maybe, type 3 if no.
I thought she just sounded, this is a horrible statement. I might get in trouble for saying this. I thought that she sounded like she had like a botched Botox.
Oh! Okay, type 4 if you think she had a botched Botox. That's another option. You can add a 4. I guess they don't have to be mutually exclusive. Just add a 4 to your vote if you think so.
I don't know.
So I just think it's the funniest thing in the world for Fox News of all places to go, hey, you got to be reasonable with those judge appointments. We don't want any funny business here. We're Fox News. We're fair, balanced, and definitely consistent in every way, shape, or form. It's just hysterical because, first of all, in one point, Biden's not going to knock over the apple cart. You know that. You know that that's an empty request that he's not even going to do anyway. Biden's going to have trouble getting a Supreme Court justice in with both houses on his side, let alone try to do something useful and expand it. And who's he going to put in with it? He's going to, oh, Merrick Garland times 3. That's what I want to do anyway.
So my thoughts on this is that, look, I think FDR really missed out his opportunity to pack the Supreme Court. He should have followed through with that promise. But you know what? I mean, here we are talking about, oh, packing up the Supreme Court, packing the Supreme Court. Here's the thing. So long as we have this two-party neoliberal, neoconservative system that is dictating these policies to help benefit their Wall Street donors, the Supreme Court is effectively under their control too. All this talk about more judges being put in. I mean, the Republicans are not going to help out the Democrats. I mean, look what they did under Obama with Obama's Supreme Court pick. You know, it didn't go through.
At any time during the president's tenure, he can fill an open slot.
But they're not going to do it. No.
Oh, wait a minute. Unless, of course, the Republicans are obstructing it, and then they can't.
Then they can't. And so, in other words, I mean, this is what it's. Here's the real fact, and that is Fox News is panicking because, of course, now they're, because Fox News is a conservative outlet. Trump's not in the White House, and now all of a sudden they got to go, oh no, Biden's in. Biden's going to be this big communist dictator. Like, yeah, right. Guys, really. I mean, seriously, Fox News, I know that's your stick, but you really are off target on that one.
That's all they have going for
that is all they have.
Same thing. Here's the difference. NBC and Fox are the exact same in reverse, and CNN's like, we'll take a little of each, but mainly the Democratic stuff.
CNN is this. Can we get the camera on me? We'll let you decide.
Oh.
That's CNN. So, look, this whole panic about the Supreme Court being packed, I mean, nothing will fundamentally change unless the American people actually reform our political system. We actually get more political parties in. We break away from this two-party system in. And more importantly, we reform our antiquated system because we haven't had any real changes to our government or to how our democracy works since, dare I say it, maybe even the founding of the Republic, or even going into the Civil War too. There's been some additions into the U.S. Constitution.
Right.
But, nonetheless, we have a system that is severely outdated. We still have the Electoral College that was designed for slave states. I mean, this is a system that needs a massive overhaul. We've seen other democracies across the world reform their government, reform their constitutions, and actually include more discourse and have a better parliamentary system than what we have here. So Fox News, similar to NBC, they're going to be doing their fears like, oh no, since our team didn't win, we better start stoking up the fires of fear and look out and be afraid. And the thing is, it's one big nothing burger. It's corporate media doing what it's supposed to do, and that is giving their viewers propaganda and causing more misinformation and more division between the American people. And this is why, again, you have Americans not trusting corporate media, not trusting the political leadership, because we've been lied to, we've been pulled around, we've been made afraid for so long that we don't know what is truth anymore.
Yep, absolutely. And it works. That's the crummy part about all of it is it's still working. This fear mongering, and that was one of the reasons why in the last story I wanted to clarify how illegal immigration isn't necessarily outright harmful to the United States, because these things just get said and then nothing to back it up. Also, I love how there's so many things that she said that were just, laughable if it wasn't being spread far and wide as truth. Like, what does she mean when, like, she says we cannot just, add people to the Supreme Court? Because actually, yeah, we can. There are no constitutional requirements for how many Supreme Court justices there are, nor are there any requirements for their age, their experience, even their citizenship. And so it's really interesting how she so staunchly goes on television in front of millions and espouses these non-truths so brazenly, and is only able to move her jaw. I mean, I don't really understand that either. Well, but yeah, what were you gonna say, Dan?
I was gonna say, remember, she's on TV, so she's right.
Yeah.
Yep. So there we go.
And so again, it's just like these talking heads who say things, don't back it up with any kind of truth. And unfortunately, it works.
Yeah. You know what would be a nice thing to do for the Supreme Court that would make more sense, in my opinion?
Yeah.
So you go with the House of Representatives as your base and your rep base as your base, and you literally just pick a name out of a hat of only, maybe let's just, like, we could, because I know America has to finesse it somehow, only people that voted in the previous election are eligible, but you pick a lottery out of a hat, and that person you pick is the representative Supreme Court justice, and it happens in every House representative district, and they last in their terms for 1 year. Well, maybe 2 years is the House. 2 years. And then they get paid a salary equivalent of a Supreme Court justice, and then they just go back to their normal life after 2 years. It's really hard to bribe that many people. It's really hard to make connections and do all that with about 720 days. And then you'll get a nice random assortment of Americans' opinions on these issues, which I would trust, 400-something random Americans to pick an issue then. a lot of judges or a few judges that we currently do that go through the process we do. It feels fair. It feels harder to game. It feels harder to build Supreme Court cases to get certain judges so you know the outcome of that case. I think it makes the process fair, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, the last thing I did want to say is that, you know, kind of to your point here, Daniel, that 57% of Americans oppose increasing the number of justices on the court, but 72% are in favor of imposing term limits. Yeah. And so that could be a really useful action to take, I think.
But here's the catch with that. This is the win-win in my scenario. Americans may say that now, but their minds might change when it might be them on the court.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, maybe. I don't know if I'd want that kind of
Hey,
power.
think of it this way.
I don't want to make those kinds of decisions.
But think of it this way. How many people buy lottery tickets? That's my whole argument.
Think about it. I think we've all bought lottery tickets in our time.
You know, you're not going to win, but you want to do it. You want to support those schools, even though you're not funding the schools.